once you come to this realization that your decisions should not be connected to your past experience, they must be connected to who you have become from that experience. So, if you limit yourself to your experience and to what you've understood, you will be doomed to struggle and struggle and struggle, because you'll just push the limits of what you have built until today. But there's another way. If you could detach yourself from the mechanism and you could go in the future and ask yourself, how can I get there? The whole game changes. And I assure you one thing, that if you could go through this transformation today, which I really hope you will start to think differently, and you'll say, I've been wasting time and energy. So that you can start to think to use this reverse thinking. Where do I want to be? And how can I get there, or become, or achieve, or make it happen? Because I can assure you one thing, wherever you are today, if you look back in time, you'll find a moment when you have decided to be exactly where you are right now. Have you found it? Yes. You are exactly where you have decided to be. I'll share with you some stories about my life. This is the experience which I've gathered from my work, but let's just jump into it. So, here's the key word, the decision. If you look at your decisions today, if you look one step before that, you'll find a moment where you made an inner perception of about the direction where you would like to go. Let's take this example here. If you're about to go climbing a mountain, if you like hiking, before the decision to go to climb the mountain, you have decided how you're gonna get there. So if we are discussing mountains where we can go and climb or hike, I love hiking. That's just beautiful. You are measuring your possibilities and your potential according to where that mountain is. And if I suggest Himalaya, you might say, I have a meeting in a few days. I can't. If I say Monte Sacro, here is in Italy, you might say, yeah, who can manage that? If I say Gran Sasso, which is in Abruzzo here in Italy, I'm located in Rome right now, you might say, yeah, we can go there. So you think about the direction. And once you think about the direction, then you make the decision and say, yeah, it would take 3-4 hours to get there, 10 hours to 3-4 hours. It's manageable. We use our wisdom from the past to make current decisions, and we expect better outcomes in the future. Where's the logic? There is no logic in it. Why? Because we think we make our decisions according to what we know, but that's just not true. And that's what I do. I coach entrepreneurs. And this is the number one trait or belief or conviction which I'm looking for at the first impact, the first encounter. What's their belief? What's their conviction about their decisions? And if you as an entrepreneur, each of us, if we believe and we think that we make our decisions according to what we know, that would be very nice. That would be great. That would be amazing. We wouldn't make mistakes and so on and so forth. It's just not true. We use the past wisdom to make current decisions, and we expect better outcomes in the future. And we test them, we implement, we learn, and we go bolder. That's what we also do in business. We think about where we'd like to be, and we make the decision according to what's between me and that destination. So you can see that there is one thing, one element before the decision. If this is the decision, here's the direction. You have chosen your direction. I remember working as a waiter in a restaurant, and I started to become passionate about the gym. And when I discovered this passion, I say, wow, that would be nice to not be just training in a tank top or a gym shirt, but to wear a white polo and teach others how to do it because I'm passionate about it. I've got few things. I know how to train. I started to compete and I'm like, wow, this would be great. So you see, in that moment, I was very limited about where I could be. And I think, and we all do this very often, we think about where we are now and we start to measure how far can we jump. If we took your mentor or a businessman, an entrepreneur which you really admire and you look up to, if we took that person without the two things, without his or her connections and without his or her money, and we took that person and we would put that person in your shoes in that situation where you are right now, what kind of decisions do you think that person would start to make or to think? What would be the direction? Probably you can already see what's going on. In 5 or 10 minutes, you would say, whoa, wait a second. Whoa. First of all, let's make clear. I don't know how to. I don't have to show. And also, I never, and so on and so forth. You would come with 10, 15, 20 objections. Because even if that person doesn't have the money, the network, the connections, with in that moment, that person became someone which he or she allows himself or herself to be bolder because they have become bolder. And even if they don't know your future or my future, they have learned some things about how to make bolder, greater decisions and how to be as less biased as possible. There's a story in the Bible when a prophet took a king and said, okay, took your ark and start shooting arrows. And he just like took 6 or 7, if I'm not wrong. And then the prophet said, why have you stopped? This is the number of the victories you're going to have. You just stopped, but I don't know why. You should have used all your arrows. But that person just didn't. That's what we do. We sometimes are so limited in our thinking, even if we're smart. I don't doubt that. Even if we're wise. But this is just a mechanism. It's not about being smart or wise. It's about what framework do you use when you make decisions. Do you look backward and you want to get away from? Or do you decide where you want to be, what you want to accomplish and become, and you start to design a way towards that? So you see that before the decision, there's the direction. Before the direction, or let's just make a jump from the launching pad. So direction, action, launching pad. If we talk about climbing a mountain, if your knee is hurting, even before the direction, you can't even think about the direction. You think about, can I or not? So if you're 80 years old and we talk about swimming 5 miles, you might say, wait a second. So you see that instantly we connect the decision to how do we see ourselves. And assuming you see yourself worthy of, we'll talk about that in just a second. If you see yourself worthy of and you say, that would be nice, then you think about the action. You say, okay, I do have the time, I have the food, I have the energy, nothing's hurting. Then you think about the action. You see yourself taking action. Then you measure the distance or what would it take to get where you want to get. And then you make the decision. So if we do this reverse engineering here, decision, before that was the direction. Before the direction was the action, imaginary action. You imagining yourself, seeing yourself accomplishing or making happen that decision. But before that, you have checked yourself. This is the launching pad before the decision. Don't look up. We'll get to that in a few minutes. So you see that here's the launching pad. This is you. If you check yourself, your self-esteem, how do you think about yourself? If you do this check, when we talk about climbing the mountain, you might say, no, I just hurt myself and no, I can't. I was in the gym, I tore a muscle and I can't, or a ligament. So the first thing, here where this video or this masterclass begins. The first thing before every decision which you do make in your life, you have always checked your self-esteem before that decision. Before you start to think how much it's going to take, what's the action required to get there. Before all of that, for an instant, for a fraction of a second, you have checked yourself. Do I see myself being there? Do I see myself worthy of? Do I feel confident about myself to achieve, to fulfill that decision or not? Here's what happens between you and your decision. There are fractions of seconds, which if we let them to be there, the framework is the same, and the same is going to be our result. We're just constantly be pushing and trying to improve a little bit and a little bit from what we've got. And then in the past 3 or 4 or 5 years, we say, my gosh, what? Probably I'm not smart enough as others. Probably don't have what it takes. Or where was I wrong? Where should I learn something or something more? What's the wrong information I've got from others which didn't allow me to achieve what I want to achieve? My friend, it's not about what you've heard. It's not about what you've learned. It's not about how far is your destination. The only thing that matters is that when you check yourself and you see yourself not ready or not worthy, you decide for yourself, wait a second, I'm not going to doubt the decision. I'm not going to doubt my destination. I'm going to look within myself. And I'm really curious to see, why do I see myself in a way or another? Why do I see myself not ready or not worthy? Why do I think that others or believe that others have something which I don't have? Why not flipping me? This is the life's question, which you have always to have in check. That lamp should never, ever go off. Because this is the trickiest, the most dangerous failure, hidden failure, which you might accomplish in your life. To fail at examining yourself and believing those beliefs and thoughts which do whisper to you, not you, too early, too big, a little bit more. This is where the most hated sentence which I hear from people, for myself personally, is, life is just this way. Life, like how? Like what? What do you mean? Isn't this you? Consider yourself unworthy? You haven't made the decision, and then you say, oh, the life's just this way. This is your launching pad. This is your kitchen. That's your self-esteem, self-confidence, self-image, and self-ideal. That's what you can make clear about yourself. What's your self-image? How do you see yourself? What's your confidence? How much do you need to become more confident? I assure you that you have already winning mindset within you. You're just flirting with it. You're just circling around it. Self-confidence and self-ideal. If you go into the show notes, there is a link, mostforce.com. And you have 3 options. You can go through first Lead Yourself, which is Allow Yourself to Rise program. It's a self-paced program. You can go through it by yourself. Comes with a manual, with the 12 modules, or that program in 6 sessions, me and you, or that program, Allow Yourself to Rise, in 12 sessions between me and you. And that's what you do when you go through first lead yourself. You start from the most important, from the most essential, and you start to see how are you biased? How do you lie to yourself unknowingly? Because if you don't see yourself ready, then you can't think, you can't generate the energy, the mental energy required to see yourself taking action upon that decision which you would really like to make. So here's the launching pad. Then it comes the energy. Look at this. Imagine yourself being a good, you're good in the gym. So you can lift 100 kilograms on your chest. Okay, good. 220 pounds. That's not a lot, right? Now, if that's not a lot for you, and if I invite you to have a chest training in the gym together, you might say, yeah, I can do that probably if we feel good to be the gym brother, gym bro. But thinking about yourself, you can say, yeah, I can see myself doing this. Then the energy starts to go up. It's like, wow, okay, good. When? Tomorrow? What? 4 o'clock? Yeah, we can do that. So you see that what decides your mental energy when you think about the action which is towards the decision you would like to make. If we zoom out this process, the energy which you do require to make that decision is hidden in your self-esteem, in your self-confidence. If your self-esteem is low, and I'm inviting you or somebody invites you to a meeting where you might think like, oh, that's not for me, that's too high. Oh my God, what am I gonna do? Your mental energy goes down. Adrenaline goes high, and mental energy goes down. If you feel confident and worthy of that gym session or that meeting and type, yeah, no problem, they meets me and I have no problem, your energy is probably even going higher. That's essential. Without that energy, you can't imagine yourself taking action and let alone making the decision. So I think we're clear here. But before we go into decision, after you check yourself and you see yourself, able to, then the energy is generated. Bam, energy is generated. Then you can see yourself taking action. So before you take action, the action happens here. You can't take action on things which you don't see yourself able to take action on. It's just impossible. You can't imagine doing if you can't see yourself able to do it. Now, even if you are not able to, you've got to imagine yourself being able to generate the energy, then choose the direction and make the damn decision. Otherwise, you never grow. If you look at yourself in the gym and say, I always lifted 50 kilograms, 100 something pounds, 10. And you say like, that's it. You can't even generate energy to think to lift more. So you see that your logic kills you. Because you want to grow, but you want to be reasonable. You want to change, but you want to protect your logic. You want to have something more, but you want to carry what you're carrying until today. It's heavy, the burden which you have, but you don't want to leave it behind. You want a better future, but you don't want to change your past in your mind. Well, that's impossible, my friend. You got to divorce your past and bring only the wisdom from it, whether positive or negative, and start living according to where you want to get into the version of the person you want to become. It's just impossible to carry both. There is a verse in the Bible, you can't serve the Beelzebub and God at the same time. You just can't. Just make the damn decision. I'm encouraging you, my brother. I don't want to be yelling you or criticizing you or making you feel less. No, I just want you to finally see for yourself whether you're making more 10 millions, 100 millions, or 5 millions, or 1 million, or 10,000, where you're building your business. Doesn't matter. Who you want to become is because who you've become today, it's is just far from what you have just realized. That this is just not me. And you might also have this feeling of like, who made this decision for me? It seems that I made this decision for myself, but why? Why didn't I aim higher? And most of you want to grow their businesses, but they're so attached to systems and processes and obstacles and problems, and they look backward and backward. Yeah, we've done this. Next year we try to do this. Oh, I have this and I've made this mistake and that mistake, so I'm going to try this year to what? Try to do what? To make better mistakes? Why don't you just want to make new mistakes? At least they are at the height equal to the vision you have, so that you make sure you're getting closer to it. There is one thing which can make the biggest difference in your business or in your life right now, you as a leader. When you imagine yourself taking action before you make the decision, is to ask yourself, am I running away from, or am I aiming toward? Here's the biggest, most reasonable and logic mistake we all do, unfortunately. We run away from, but at the same time, we want to get closer toward or to. It's just, no. If you want to climb the Himalaya next 3 months or next year, you gotta start training for climbing the Himalaya. Now, if you're cycling until today, but now you want to climb the Himalaya, accumulating more kilometers cycling ain't gonna help you to climb the Himalaya. You gotta train for the task you put in front of yourself, my friend. You can't become better at what didn't serve you until to get where you want to get and expect to be there just because you get better at what you were doing until today. Are you grasping? Are you tracking? Are you following it? I really hope you do. By the way, I'm not far from where people say like, oh, I'm never biased, or I never make mistakes, or I never take into consideration the from or toward. We all do this. What we can do is to catch ourselves as fast as possible when we start to bull flip ourselves. So, whatever is the outcome you're looking for, future outcome, you can't get there if you don't make the decision to. Otherwise, you're just running away from what you've done until today, and you try to make it better, but then in 3 or 4 or 5 years, you're going to ask yourself, why am I not there where I wanted to be? Here is the first question I want to ask yourself. When you're about now to make decisions in your business, to grow, to expand, to change your systems, to change your strategy, are you running away from what you've done and you just kind of like my cat when he wants to cover his stuff? We just like want to cover it like, oh, I'm smarter now. Or do you have the courage to decide for yourself who you want to become, where do you want to be, and start designing a plan, a strategy to get there? This is the question I want you to ask and to take notes if you want to. I would really suggest you, and to start asking, how many decisions have I made today, yesterday, last week, last month, which were just trying to run away from where I was coming? I worked in a restaurant from 18 until 22, 23. Then I became a personal trainer, then a bodybuilding coach, coaching athletes, me being an athlete. I love bodybuilding. You like bodybuilding? Leave a comment in the section below. And until that time, I started to constantly made decisions according to where I was coming from. And things were getting a little bit better, just a little bit, but it took a decade Oh my gosh, if I could just have this framework at that time. Then I stopped and I said, okay, I'm a mental coach for bodybuilding athletes and bodybuilding too. But what if all of that didn't exist? What if my culture didn't exist? I'm a mix of Moldovan and Russian culture. I mean, I have two languages and a mixed culture. So what if all the culture didn't exist? What if my parents didn't exist? What if all I've heard and listened didn't exist? What if my past just disappeared? What if I was just born right now, 26 years old of age? What would I do? There's a tree. There's the sun. I'm alive. Okay. And start to make first decisions, not according to where you're coming from, but according to where you want to be. When you think about growing your business and you becoming who you want to become, and you really push it away, I already know that. We all do that. You push it away, it's too far, too early, and you just want to take it step by step, which is a great strategy. Step by step, but what's the direction? And the direction, my friend, is chosen before the decision. The decision is to start making steps toward. The decision is post-action. You see yourself taking action, you make the decision, and then you start to take it step by step, which I strongly suggest, but that's another conversation. Not to think 5, 6, 10, 20, 40 steps ahead. Learn to see the next step. Learn, train yourself, then 2 steps, then 3 steps. Once you make sure that you are going toward. Once the decision is made, tough times are about to come. Every single time. You can see this in your life as well. Every single time when you're about to make a great decision, where you've made a great decision, what happened? Immediately, instantly, maybe in 12, maybe 24, maybe 36 hours after you made the decision. Obstacles, challenges, immediately, instantly. Have you observed this? I'm sure you observed this. You just want to do something better, boom. All the thoughts, all the negative things, and also the events in front of you, they start to line up against you. And if you can go through them, then they start to align for you. But the first what happens, you're challenged, my friend. You're challenged because the divine always tests you. Okay, you want more? Okay. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm going to challenge you, and I'm going to see, is this just a mental desire? Is this a physical desire? Is this a flashy desire? Or is this a spiritual, meaningful desire for you to grow? And you will be challenged. Therefore, I have a framework for you, which I'm not going to share fully, but I can share with you one-on-one if you want. And the link is in the show notes right below. Below this video. It's just so much light. That's where I wear these sunglasses. There's just so much light, and it makes me, I know my energy goes high, but also because all the lights, they're warming the whole system. So these are the 4 pushers and 4 pullers. That's how I call them. Let's go. No, it's gonna get dry. 4 pushers and 4 pullers. There are forces within you which are very good at pushing you. Okay, I'm gonna use one. Pain. Pain is a great pusher. When you find yourself that you're not really sure about the direction, you know you gotta move, but you don't have the clear strategy. Here's one thing: use 1 push and 1 pull force. There are 4 and 4. I can share them with you if you want. The link is in the description below. But I'm going to share with you one. One is pain. It's a great push. It is not good for a great vision, for a long-term strategy. No. But it's good to take action and to start to take action. That's the pain. Hey, what's painful? What's burning my ass now? Pardon? And to start to move forward. That's a good push. Because sometimes we get so accommodated with the pain, we don't even feel it. We become numb to it. But then once in a week, or sometimes it just like kicks in, and then we look, we say, like, my gosh, I'm so, why am I here where I am? I should have been further. I could have achieved more. Why? And it's painful. Sometimes we forget about that pain of the past. And that's great energy. That's great raw energy. So as I said before, it's not good for long term. It's not really meaningful. It's not really purposeful, but it's a good thing just to ignite the fire. That's one of the pullers. That's pain. There are 3 more. The links in the description below. I can share them with you personally. And there are the 4 pullers, which are much more meaningful. One of them, of the pullers, is your mission, your sense of mission. What is your mission here to accomplish, to fulfill here on earth? When you find that sense of mission in your life, you become unstoppable, my friend. When your dearest person in your life, for example, they ask you, a person you really love and like, sympathize, and you take care of, and they ask you for a glass of water, and you're like, yep, absolutely, no problem. Do you want 2 liters, 4 liters, or a bottle? What kind of water do you want? Sparkling, still? You become the young machine. When you can, if you're able to connect your sense of mission in your life and to find it and to connect with it, my friend, you become unstoppable. Because when you're on a mission, nobody stops you. And you know that moment when there is one goal, one direction, one purpose, you become unstoppable. If something happens to your daughter, your son, and you gotta be there in minutes, oh my gosh, you're jumping from the third or fourth floor, you're flying, my friend. You find impossible ways to accomplish that mission. So you know that sense? Wow, what would happen to your business if you could find that sense of mission through your business? You'd become unstoppable too. But you're just too busy running and doing stuff and studying AI, but you forget about the most essential, the most important, yourself. That's why you have to take command of the one mission you can't outsource. Yourself. We can do that. I can help you. There's a link in the description below. We can do that together. I was just saying. Once the decision is made, you gotta prepare for pullers and pushers. Because once you make the decision, you'll be tested. You'll be tested, you'll be challenged. So when you want to grow your business, not according to your past, but you want to make huge steps forward, because now you start to set your sense of mission and the vision in front of you, you'll be challenged. Because you'll have to learn fast. You have to grow fast. You have to develop skills fast. And you'll be challenged. And if you can prepare, and here's the way to prepare, is to catch those pushers and pullers, because this is your armor. These are the weapons which you're going to use so that you can go through it. So after the battle, you can stop and reflect and say, whoo, all right, we made it. 2 months, we made it. Now, then you stop and then you reflect, reassess things, and then you go through the battle again. Pressure is great. It forces you to become better. Here's one thing I want to share with you quickly. You know, when you're at the beginning, at the building phase in your business, and everything is so hard, everything is just so damn hard. And you know that temptation when you just like want to eat some sweetie, or maybe just want to rest a little bit, you want to watch a movie or take a walk, or just, it's just like you need to breathe a little bit, like, don't do that. Do not do that. Why? Because when the pressure is building up, you're about to break through and to spot that flipping belief which is flipping your life. And right when you're about to face your enemy, what do? You take a break. You say, let me rest a little bit. Pressure is just too high. And you become fat, you avoid going to the gym, you avoid doing the right stuff, and you just look for a little bit of pleasure because I'm going through so much right now. Just don't do that, my friend. Keep like a bulldozer, just step by step, by step, by step. Because you gotta break through these limiting beliefs and these truth, old demons which are forcing you to stay where you are. You just go slowly, forward. And right in that moment when you are tempted to take a break, let me just breathe a little bit. Let me just have something sweet. Let me just, a cigar, right? Don't. Stay focused. Stay focused, my friend. You're just about like to write this 1 inch from breaking through and saying, wow, that's what it was. My emotions were destroying my thinking. I was making decisions because of fear. Whoa. Woo. I just wish I could have been here earlier. Don't run away from it. When the pressure is building, stay strong. Stay strong. one step at a time, one step at a time. Now, the first battle comes. Here's the future outcome. You are looking now. I really hope after I ask you about, are you running from or aiming towards, aiming at, I really hope you've decided for yourself to think after this video, hey, what would I do if I decided what I want to be and if I design a path towards that? If I want to be there in 2 or 3 years, what would that person do? You being there. And start this reverse engineering so that you can start designing a path from you, between you and that place or accomplishment you're looking for. Now, when you're thinking about your future outcome, from one side in your brain, they really look like this. They look like unpredictable, like nobody guarantees me I'm gonna get there. Alex Hormozy, I don't think he's one of the greatest in mindset and thinking, but sometimes he scratches those areas. He's very good in numbers and business and models and leads and stuff. But about the psyche, it's something interesting. Anyway, great guy. Learned a lot from him. And yeah, his books helped me personally. So if you want to look at his books, I personally suggest them. They're unpredictable. Oh, and yeah, he said the world is for, I'm just gonna say what I remember, is belongs to those who keep fighting when the winning, the victory is not close as they thought, or is further. It might be accomplished later, and is not guaranteed. That's what testing a little bit. It's not guaranteed. So from one side of your brain, your future outcomes, the decisions, when you start to make decisions for the future outcome, they look unpredictable. They are unpredictable. Nobody knows. Remember, we started this video with we use wisdom from the past to make current decisions, and we expect better outcomes in the future. That's there is no logic in it. They're unpredictable. They are. And they also are compromisable. When you are about to fight after you made the decision, you might say, maybe I can make a little bit less. That would be great too. How much? I don't know. Nobody knows. Sometimes we have to pivot. Sometimes we have to compromise a little bit. But again, if you're constantly compromising, then probably you have a problem here at the launching pad. If the launching pad is compromised and your self-esteem is low, your self-confidence is low, your self-image, the way you see yourself, you just see yourself small and far, of course you're gonna fight and struggle and hassle and hassle and hassle. That's what you're doomed to do. But I know you won't. You're a smart person. You're already watching this video more than half an hour. So I know you're interested into changing and improving. So you are there already. And they also look complementary. Like, besides these, I've also accomplished a few other things. So yeah, I know maybe it's not as great as I wanted to, but it's all right. Now, I'm no one to tell you how much of these 3 you should allow, but I also want you to see and to look at the other qualities of your future outcomes. They are desirable. That's what you want. They're essential. You gotta answer to yourself, why are they desirable? Why do I want them? I'm gonna put here a slide into this video, and here are 2 things which you want to look. And on the left one probably is, do I truly know what I want? Your future outcomes have to be connected to you. Why do you want them? Not because they look good, not just because it's possible, not because somebody did it. I know very often you set goals for yourself because, hey, somebody did, I can do that too. Well, that's a good way to start. Eventually, you'll have to reach this moment where you'll have to decide for yourself, I know that's possible, but why me? Why do I want it? Do I want it? Why do I want it? Because if not, you're doomed to fight and fight, but never achieve the prize you're looking for, the accomplishment, the result. They are essential. Please answer for yourself. Why is that future outcome essential for my life? If the future outcome you're looking for in your life or in your business is not essential to your life, you're aiming at the wrong thing. You gotta figure it out. Why is it essential to my existence? Then, my friend, you're onto something. When they are essential for you, because in that moment when you feel they're essential, that's where the spark starts between your soul and your mind. So your mind says, yeah, we might change a little bit. That's kind of too much, too far, too complicated. But your soul says, no. It just clicked. Please follow it. Please connect it. And you start becoming fire. They're going to be essential. Something like this. If not this, I don't want to do anything in life. Just this. Even if I'm not good at it, I'll become good at it. And why are they inevitable? Why are they inevitable for you? You got to answer for yourself. Why is these future outcomes inevitable for me? Why? These three, desirable, essential, and inevitable, are going to be the pillars of your future outcomes. You're a reverse engineer. You gotta have some weapons under the belt, which you're gonna use to fight and to break through those challenges, because you will be challenged. And you can go through it. The puller and the pushers are going to help you to go through it, but you can only go through it if your future outcome is inevitable, essential, and desirable. Otherwise, you're gonna turn to these three. So, in conclusion, when you are aiming at your future outcomes, what do you want to achieve? What do you want to grow your business? Ask yourself first, what's the launching pad? Is my foundation stable? Do I have clear understanding of myself, about my self-confidence, self-image, self-esteem, self-ideal? Do I have this foundation? Who am I? How am I going to perceive myself? Why am I'm going to achieve all this work, to go through this old work? Otherwise, you can borrow the best tools and systems, because remember, I shared with you that example. If your mentor were the person in business which you really admired, if that person was in your shoes right now, without their money, without their connections, what kind of decisions would they make? Now, let's reverse it differently. Imagine that person, that mentor, the person you really admire in business and you're learning a lot from. Imagine you being transported in just 1 second, being in his or her shoes, with your experience and with your self-esteem, with your self-confidence, with your self-image, with your self-ideal, with your perception of self. What kind of decisions are you going to make being in the shoes of that person? Or are you going to say like, oh my God, no, wait a second. Can I get out of it? Because it's too much for me. There is the middle way. You can say, well, okay, all right. What do you want to achieve? And then you say, okay, good. Who's the advisor team? I need to look for advice. And you start rolling. If you have the foundation, the launching pad, if the launching pad, your self-concept is weak, no advisors, no systems, no AI, no things, nothing is going to help, because your foundation is shaky. It's on the sand, it's not on the stone. So the number one thing, what I want you to think really a lot about, am I running away from, or am I aiming towards or at? So that you don't confuse yourself with your old self and you start to build according to what you want to achieve. The second thing, what I want you to remember is the energy which you need in order to think and to elaborate a plan, a strategy, is generated by your launching pad, by your self-concept. Your perception of yourself generates the energy which is going to fuel yourself, your perspective about the decision which you're about to make. If your launching pad, your self-concept is weak, you have no energy to generate, to think, to imagine yourself taking action upon the decision which is going to help you to grow, to become, or to accomplish whatever you want to accomplish in your business. For the pushers and pullers, the link is in the description below. I can help you with that. The second thing I want you to think about is, when you think about your future outcome, when you decide for yourself, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to be? Who do you want to become? The leader of your business. What kind of structure do you want to have in your life? Where do you want to get? Focus more on these and answer these three. Why is it inevitable? Why is it essential? Why is it desirable? And beware of these three: unpredictable, compromisable, complementary. These are their enemies. So you gotta be aware of these two and to not allow themselves to fight. All of them have place. This is the reason speaking. We need it. Don't kill it. This is your soul speaking. Listen to it. Follow it. Use this, submit your mind to your soul. Use this to fuel into that, not in the opposite, so that you can roll things forward. And finally, the change or the new. If you just want to change a little bit, if you don't want to aim higher, you don't want to grow, you just want to change a little bit, then yes, probably have to use the from, so that you can use the pushers and the pullers, decide what's the future outcome, just because you want to change a little bit. But if you want something new, if you're already hustling for years, if you're already building and trying to grow a business, and you try to make it as complicated as possible, you put all the systems, and you think that once you're going to invest in all the coaches in the world, and once you're going to know all the things, and once you're going to hire the best people in the world, then and only then I'm going to become successful. You are on the wrong path, because nothing is going to work unless you decide you are ready for it and you deserve it, because you can and because it is already within you. And that's what I wish for you. Lots of luck, much success, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.